Well, hello everybody. I know it's been a minute since I have put a video up, but I pinky promise that I'm going to try very, very hard each week to post a video with new stories that I've written and also stories that I've been reading. Like I've been reading other books similar to the stories that I'm writing. And I want to show you one of them before I start to read my stories. One story that I thought was really cool. It is called People Don't Bite People. It's really funny. And it's explaining how you don't bite people. And at the end, it says, People don't bite people. It's nasty and it's rude. A friend will never bite a friend. Biting is for food. So you might want to ask mommy or daddy or someone if you could go to the library and get this book. It's really cool. And another book that I started to read, which I absolutely love, I haven't finished this one yet because this one is a little longer, but it's called Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History. And this is the author. I'd like to read one of the pages that I read, which was so cool. Well, I'll read a little bit of it. This lady is a poet like me, and she lived many, many years ago. She lived in the early 1700s. It's so hard sometimes to figure out how to hold this. Okay, her name is Phyllis Wheatley. Phyllis Wheatley's literary skills were apparent early on. She published her first story when she was only 14 years old. For anyone, this would be a major feat, but Phyllis was a slave. So it was truly unique. Her original name, date of birth, and exact birthplace are all unknown. When she was only 8 years old, she was taken from her home in Africa and sold to a trader, then transported across the Atlantic to Boston, Massachusetts, aboard a ship named the Phyllis. She was then resold to a man named John Wheatley, who purchased her to be a personal servant to his wife. Now I'll skip down a little bit because maybe you might want to read this book. In 1767, she was emancipated. Unfortunately, she struggled financially and lived in poverty for the rest of her life. She received a great deal of praise during her lifetime, but validation from white society was integral to her success, and it never came. She continued writing, but was not able to find a publisher in America. Her natural talent and body of work lived on as fundamental contributions to American literature. So I skipped some of the parts, but she actually published her first book, and it was filled with poems on various subjects and religion and so forth. She was the first African American woman poet ever to be published. So again, her name is Phyllis Wheatley, and her information is in this book. So this might be a book that you want to read. Okay, so back to business, friends. I've been busy working on other books since we've been away. But before I tell you about that, look at this cool artwork I have here. This is so special to me as this thing on my neck, and I'll tell you about that in a second. I so far have read my stories to about 128 kids, and this is what they told me. They told me that they really enjoyed my stories by drawing me pictures. Some of them wrote me little notes. Some of them just signed their names. And I have here, I made a copy of the first book that I wrote, which is Eden the Talking Cockatoo. Remember that story that I read to you? And this is some of the names of the kids that listened to my story. If you remember, I told you that I am a substitute teacher. And so when I substitute, I have the opportunity to read my stories to the kids. And these are the kids that I read them to. And I've substituted at different schools here in Hawaii. Also, this very cool thing, or these two things that are around my neck, they're called leg. And here in Hawaii, it's a very special thing to receive a leg. So sometimes you might receive it, you could receive it on your birthday, or if you have an anniversary, or sometimes to welcome someone, or to just let them know that they're special. And that's what the kids did for me. And they made these. And actually, real lei are made from real flowers. And I believe one of the flowers that they use is the hibiscus flower, which I also believe is the flower of Hawaii. Don't quote me on that, but you can always look it up and check me out. Make sure I'm telling the absolute truth about that on the internet. But it's so cool, and they're so beautiful, and they took the time to make this for me, to say thank you. What else have I been doing? As I said, I've been working on these other stories, and one of the stories will be for later on. I'm going to read it to you, but I haven't finished it yet. And it's the second story to the first story that I read to you guys, which was Eden, the Talking Cockatoo. And this will be the second book, which is Eden and Breezy in Hawaii. And I think it's going to be really good. You know what else I was thinking about? Being a storyteller reminds me of when my babies, who are all grown up now, and so it's like, okay, well, who do I read stories to now? Duh. And fortunately, I have my love-a-lots, my Bree Bree and Brookie, Mimi Heart, you guys. That's what we always do before we hang up on the phone. Now, my babies are big people now. They're so grown up now, and they are amazing and intelligent, and they are awesome. They are 30, they are 29, 28, 26, and 24. That's crazy to me, because they were just little. They were like 3 and 4 and, running around doing things. But now they're doing awesome things in the world. And I know one day you guys are going to grow up and be awesome and amazing too. You always believe in yourself. Always believe in your dreams. Go for it. Go for it. Even when other people might not necessarily, believe in you. You always believe in you because you're special. Okay. So I'm done that for the moment. I want to read this new story to you guys, and I'm super excited about reading it to you. It is called Brooklyn No Nap. And I'm going to try to hold this straight and not put it in front of my face, because I've practiced this video several times before I got it right. Now, I read you guys a story that I wrote before that was called Pop Pop and Me. And that one is about one of my love-a-lots, my 5-year-old granddaughter, Bria. And that's the story of her and her Pop Pop. And I love that story. And this story is about Brooklyn, and she is my other love-a-lot, my 3-year-old. And so check this out. I read this story to my honey, Mr. Holmes, and it was designed to put him to sleep because it was a bedtime story. And he actually fell asleep. And he said, "Oh, babe, that was a really, really good story." So I hope you guys love this next story. And I'm going to scoot around so that I can read this to you. Okay? I think that's better. Brooklyn No Nap. A storybook by Shawn D. Holmes. And that is me. You ready? You in your comfortable spot? I hope so. Here we go. Oh, one thing. This book is not completely finished, and so it does not have pictures on every page. However, I want you to use your imagination. And each time I read a page that doesn't have a picture on it, I want you to just close your eyes and imagine those words. Imagine being there. Imagine what the pictures would look like. Okay? You ready? Here we go. This is Brooklyn's mommy talking. "Wake up, sleepyhead." That's what Brookie's mommy said. Let me start again. "Wake up, sleepyhead." That's what Brooklyn's mommy said. Has your mommy or daddy or grandmom or pop ever told you to wake up? Then she gently tickled her. "It's morning, Brookie. Time to get out of bed." Now imagine a cute little 3-year-old that you know. "No, I sleepy." She hugged her favorite pillow tucked beneath her head. How many times has mommy said get up for school and you weren't really ready to? Little Brooklyn, who's only 3, isn't ready to open her eyes just yet. as you can see. There's my Brookie. Soon, sweet smells of breakfast filled the air. Brooklyn sprung from her bed with sleep, messy hair. Mommy, I awake now. Remember, she's only 3. On her tiptoes peeking over the kitchen table, Brooklyn could barely see. Okay, put on your imagination caps. Her mommy said, "Somebody's up now." I wonder who that could be. Brooklyn, smiling, said, "Look, Mommy, it's me." You guys are doing really great with your imaginations. Soon, Mommy and Brooklyn were off to play. Outside, it was amazing. The sun shiniest day. And the sun even had on sunglasses. That's crazy, right? They went to the playground. Are you imagining your favorite playground? And Brooklyn made new friends. "Mommy, I want to come tomorrow. Let's do it again." She was excited. Brooklyn ran and jumped. She played on the swings and the slide. Up, down, on the teeter-totter. Whee! Her favorite ride. It was time to go home now and eat their lunch. Brooklyn's favorite meal, green salad and fruit to munch. What's your favorite meal? This is one of my favorite pictures. The playground was close by, so they were home in a snap. Her mommy said, "Brooklyn, after lunch, it will be time for you to take your nap." Uh-oh. Does this sound familiar? Little brother or little sister, or maybe even you? No nap, no nap. I want to play. Big girls rest for a little while. Her mommy would always say, not just on Mondays and Tuesdays, but every day. Let's see what Brooklyn says. No nap, no nap, no nap, no nap, no nap. Brooklyn would always say, not just on Mondays and Tuesdays, but, you're right, every day. She just doesn't like taking naps. Not ever. No way. Even with her favorite pillow and blanket, Brooklyn would still say, what do you think she's going to say? You were right. No nap. No nap. But after just a few minutes, sleep always came and swooped her away. What do you think those Z's mean? Can you see all the Z's? Are you feeling sleepy? Her mommy peeked in her room and smiled. Little Miss Brooklyn was napping. It won't be too long, but just for a little while. So tomorrow, they will do it all over again. But Brooklyn still won't like taking naps. There is nothing and no one in the whole world who could ever change that. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I look forward to seeing you guys again really, really soon. But remember what I said, you always believe in you. Miss Holmes will see you soon. Take care. Kid Stuff signing off.